Hello everyone, Professor Kurzlook here. So as we approach the end of July, students continue to get ready to go back to school. Um, I already see advertisements online about back to school supplies, so it is approaching that time. I know at UNC we start August 24th. I'm sure a lot of schools around the country are similar times, maybe a little bit earlier. And so I've been making a series of videos about just some suggestions from a professor to incoming freshmen to students that are just starting their academic journey. I made an overview video last week. Last year I made a series of videos which cover a lot of these same things, and really it's just designed for advice from a professor who's been doing this for a while to students to try to help them succeed, because we do see that first year students experience sometimes a bit of, I don't want to say culture shock, but just life at college is certainly different than life in high school. You're oftentimes on your own for the first time, and so I just make these videos just trying to give some helpful suggestions to students and maybe their families, because as professors we really do want to see our students succeed. It's good for the institution, it's good for society, it's good for the student that we have students who are succeeding at university so they can build a career that they are happy with. And so I know I made the overview video last week, but today, this video, I want to just talk about the number one tip. It was the number one tip in my last video. If you go to Google and search for best practices for being successful in university, the number one tip that comes up is attending class. And this might sound silly. Well, university is really expensive. It's all over the news how expensive it is. It's very expensive. So of course I'm going to go to class, but this is something that students sometimes struggle a bit with. They get to college, they're making new friends, joining clubs, which are good. You want to do these things, but maybe they're working, they have family obligations, they have a lot going on. And so sometimes students are like, well, if I miss one class, it's okay. If I miss two classes, or it's cold outside, I don't want to get up today. That can get into a bad habit of not attending classes. So even if you set out with, okay, I'm not going to miss class, but then life just gets in the way, and next thing you know, you're missing class. And so why is that such a problem? Well, a few things. One, some professors grade, and I'm guessing most of your professors will give a grade for either attendance or attendance plus participation. I have a tendency to, in most of my classes, unless it's a senior level, just give a flat attendance rate. So if you are there X percentage of classes, you get that grade. There's of course some leeway for being sick, leeway for athletic events, school events, of course. But, so if you attend 80% of the classes outside of those excused absences, you get an 8 out of 10 or an 80%. A lot of professors grade that way. Some grade a little bit harder, that they might give you like 3 absences and then you lose a big letter grade. Others may be a little bit more flexible, that maybe it's only 5% of your grade. So, okay, so one, it's important to attend class because it's part of your grade. So two, just your ability to learn. So, if you're doing the reading, if you're keeping up on the reading, you might feel like, oh, I don't need to attend class. I already know what we're going to talk about. But oftentimes in the class, you can build off, and I teach in the social sciences and political science, so my class will look different than biology or engineering. But the discussions we have in class are oftentimes built off of those readings. So even if you're doing the reading, the in-class discussions build off of those readings. So if you're missing class, you are missing those, that learning, that preparation for the exams. You're missing that discussion. So that's a second reason attending class is so important. One, you might get a grade. Two, truly what you're learning goes beyond just what is being assigned to you. And I know some classes, maybe at the 100 level that you're taking as a first year student, a lot of the lectures might cover what's in the reading and not really build off of it that much, just the nature of 100 level courses. But you want to, from the start, get into that good habit of attending class, of participating in class. So that's number 3, is that participation. When you're there, you can actually engage with the professor and engage with your fellow students. You learn a lot more that way from having those discussions in class. Again, maybe in those first 100 level courses, there's less engagement, there's less talking, but classes are different. If it's a smaller class, maybe even at the freshman level, first year level, you can still have that engagement. But building a good foundation for success in your first year of college is important in attending class. Grade, you'll hear discussions, you'll hear what the professor is saying, you'll build off of the reading, you'll engage with your fellow students. So when we look at research of, okay, what proves to be successful for students at university, attending class is like number 1. You'll get a relationship with your professor. They'll recognize you. They'll know your name. If you have any questions, you can ask. So I know everybody at the outset says, of course I'll attend class. But as this semester goes by, you'll look around and some students will not attend as much. But it's important that for your education, you're paying a lot of money, again, to be at university. Get the most out of it, to learn as much as you can. Have the best experience where you're preparing yourself for a fulfilling career post-graduation. And attending class is the number 1 key to building that foundation for success. Thank you.